The afternoon sun shined softly over a quiet neighborhood where Mrs. Loretta Jenkins, a 72-year-old widow, slowly walked home carrying grocery bags. She was well known in the community for her kindness and warm smile. Children waved to her as she passed, and neighbors respected her deeply. That peaceful moment suddenly changed when two police cars screeched to a stop beside her. Officers jumped out aggressively, shouting orders she barely understood. Confused and frightened, she tried explaining she had done nothing wrong. The officers accused her of theft based on a mistaken report, ignoring her calm voice and visible fear. Loretta's hands trembled as officers demanded she drop her groceries and place her hands behind her back. She tried to speak politely, asking what she had done, but her questions were met with harsh commands. One officer pushed her against a patrol car while another twisted her arm painfully. Her groceries spilled across the sidewalk, fruits rolling into the street. Passers-by stopped and watched, shocked by the scene. Loretta's fragile body could barely handle the force. She cried softly, still attempting to cooperate, but the officers continued treating her like a dangerous suspect instead of an elderly woman. Neighbors started recording the incident with their phones as Loretta struggled to stand straight. Her voice shook while she insisted they had the wrong person. The officers ignored the growing crowd and tightened their grip on her wrists. One officer roughly forced her to kneel on the pavement, causing her knees to scrape painfully against the concrete. People nearby shouted for the officers to slow down and check their information. The officers dismissed the concerns, believing they were handling a serious criminal. Loretta's breathing grew heavier and fear filled her eyes as the situation escalated beyond reason. As the officers attempted to force her into the back of the patrol car, Loretta suddenly collapsed from pain and exhaustion. The crowd gasped as she struggled to catch her breath. One concerned neighbor begged officers to call medical help, but they hesitated, focused only on completing the arrest. Loretta whispered that she needed to call her son. At first, officers laughed, assuming she wanted to complain to family. Her shaking voice remained calm as she repeated her request. After several tense moments, one officer reluctantly allowed her to make the call, believing it would not change anything. With trembling fingers, Loretta dialed her son Marcus's number. The phone rang several times before he answered. Marcus immediately sensed panic in his mother's weak voice. She explained the situation briefly, describing where she was and what was happening. Marcus remained silent for several seconds, then spoke calmly, asking her to stay strong and keep the officers nearby. He promised he would handle everything quickly. The officers stood nearby, amused by the conversation, believing it was simply a worried son trying to protect his mother without understanding the seriousness of police authority. Unknown to the officers, Marcus Jenkins was not an ordinary son. He was a highly decorated Delta Force commander with years of elite military service. He had led dangerous missions across multiple countries and built strong connections with law enforcement leadership. Hearing his mother cry triggered a calm but intense focus inside him. He quickly contacted local military liaison officials and verified the situation through trusted channels. Marcus gathered information rapidly, requesting immediate review of the police report connected to his mother's arrest. Within minutes, he discovered that the suspected thief looked nothing like Loretta Jenkins. Back on the street, Loretta sat inside the patrol car, her wrists sore from tight handcuffs. The crowd continued recording, and tension filled the air. The officers remained confident they had handled the situation properly. Loretta closed her eyes, whispering quiet prayers for safety. She remembered raising Marcus alone after her husband passed. She had worked multiple jobs to give him a strong future. She never imagined she would face such treatment in her old age. Despite her fear, she trusted her son completely and believed he would protect her just as she had protected him. Meanwhile, Marcus contacted the police department's internal command office. His calm but firm tone immediately caught attention. He provided his rank, credentials, and explained that his elderly mother had been wrongfully detained and possibly harmed. Department supervisors began reviewing body camera feeds and dispatch reports. As they watched the footage, concern grew rapidly among leadership. The description of the suspect did not match Loretta at all. The supervisors realized the officers had acted without verifying identity properly. Panic slowly spread inside the department as they understood the seriousness of the mistake unfolding publicly. Back on the street, one officer received a call from headquarters. His confident expression slowly faded as he listened carefully. His partner noticed the sudden change in his posture. The officer's voice became quieter as he confirmed details about the arrest. The crowd noticed the shift in mood as officers exchanged nervous glances. The supervising officer instructed them to immediately remove the handcuffs and provide medical assistance. The seriousness of the command shocked them. They had believed the arrest was routine, but the tone from headquarters suggested something far more serious was developing. The officers opened the patrol car door and helped Loretta step out carefully. They removed the handcuffs, noticing bruises forming around her wrists. A medical team was dispatched quickly, arriving within minutes to examine her condition. The crowd remained silent, observing the sudden reversal. Loretta struggled to stand comfortably, but remained dignified despite her pain. One officer attempted to apologize, but his words sounded uncertain. Loretta simply nodded, still processing the emotional shock. She asked quietly if her groceries were safe, showing her gentle nature even after everything she had endured. As paramedics checked her blood pressure and minor injuries, another police vehicle arrived carrying a senior department supervisor. His serious expression revealed the gravity of the situation. He approached Loretta respectfully, introducing himself and asking about her well-being. He apologized sincerely, explaining there had been a major identification error. The supervisor assured her that the department would investigate the officer's actions carefully. The crowd continued recording, capturing every moment. The supervisor instructed the officers involved to step aside while he personally ensured Loretta received proper medical attention and comfort after the frightening ordeal. At the same time, Marcus was already traveling toward the location with coordination from military and local officials. His presence created additional pressure within the police department. News of the incident had started spreading online as witnesses uploaded videos showing officers roughing up an elderly woman. Public concern grew quickly, with viewers demanding accountability. Department leadership realized the incident could damage community trust deeply. They prepared detailed reports and began reviewing officer conduct. Every second increased tension as they waited for Marcus to arrive and fully understand what had happened to his mother. Loretta sat inside the ambulance while paramedics treated her scraped knees and sore shoulders. Despite her pain, she remained calm and polite with everyone assisting her. She asked repeatedly if the officers were in trouble, showing compassion even for those who hurt her. The supervisor assured her that the department simply wanted to learn the truth and ensure fairness. The crowd slowly began dispersing, but many remained nearby, still filming. The scene had transformed from aggression into concern, yet the emotional damage left a heavy silence over the neighborhood street. Soon, black government vehicles approached the area, capturing immediate attention. Marcus stepped out wearing simple civilian clothes, but his confident posture revealed his military discipline. Officers nearby quickly recognized his authority after receiving earlier warnings from headquarters. Marcus walked directly toward the ambulance where his mother sat. His face showed deep concern, but his voice remained calm as he gently held her hands. Loretta smiled weakly, relieved to see her son. The emotional reunion touched everyone watching, creating a powerful contrast between family love and the chaos that had unfolded moments earlier. Marcus carefully listened as Loretta explained everything that had happened. He remained composed, but his eyes revealed controlled anger. He thanked the paramedics for their assistance before turning toward the police supervisor. Marcus introduced himself formally, presenting his identification. The supervisor immediately responded respectfully, acknowledging his position and promising full cooperation. Marcus requested to review body camera footage and incident reports. His professional tone showed he wanted justice, not revenge. The supervisor agreed quickly, understanding the seriousness of ignoring such a respected military leader's request for transparency and accountability. Officers involved in the arrest stood nervously nearby while Marcus and the supervisor reviewed early footage on a secure tablet. The video clearly showed officers ignoring Loretta's explanations and using unnecessary force. Marcus remained silent while watching, his jaw tightening slightly. The supervisor's face showed regret as he realized how badly procedures had been ignored. The evidence demonstrated that officers rushed to arrest without confirming identity or threat level. Marcus finally spoke calmly, stating that his mother deserved respect and safety. His words carried quiet strength that made everyone listening understand the seriousness of accountability. The supervisor immediately suspended the officers pending a full internal investigation. Department representatives began collecting witness statements from neighbors who had recorded the event. Marcus thanked them politely, emphasizing that community voices helped reveal truth. Loretta watched everything quietly, proud of her son's calm leadership. She asked Marcus not to let anger control him, reminding him of values she had taught throughout his childhood. Marcus nodded respectfully, promising he would pursue justice properly. Her gentle wisdom grounded him, preventing the situation from escalating into emotional confrontation, despite his understandable frustration. Soon, local news reporters approached the area, capturing immediate attention. Cameras focused on the developing story as reporters asked questions about police accountability and community safety. The department supervisor addressed media carefully, acknowledging mistakes and promising transparency. Marcus declined public interviews, choosing to focus on his mother's recovery. Loretta requested privacy, but thanked neighbors who supported her. The community showed overwhelming sympathy, delivering flowers and supportive messages. The incident transformed into a symbol of concern about elderly safety and responsible policing, attracting widespread attention across social platforms and news networks. Later that evening, Loretta returned home with Marcus accompanying her. Neighbors gathered outside her house, applauding softly as she arrived safely. She smiled warmly, thanking everyone for caring about her well-being. Marcus helped her inside, preparing tea while she rested. The peaceful home environment provided comfort after the traumatic event. Loretta reflected on how quickly life could change and how important community support truly was. Marcus promised to stay with her for several days, ensuring she recovered physically and emotionally. Their quiet conversation showed deep family bonds strengthened through hardship. Inside the police department, internal affairs investigators began analyzing every detail of the incident. They reviewed body camera footage, dispatch records, and witness statements. The evidence revealed serious procedural violations, including failure to confirm suspect description and use of excessive force. Department leadership faced increasing pressure from the public to demonstrate fairness and accountability. Training policies were reviewed urgently to prevent similar incidents in the future. Supervisors recognized that rebuilding community trust required honest action and improved education for officers handling vulnerable individuals, especially elderly citizens.
Marcus coordinated with legal advisors to ensure his mother's rights were protected. He emphasized that the situation was not just personal, but represented larger concerns about respect and proper conduct. His military discipline guided his decisions carefully. Loretta supported his approach, reminding him that seeking fairness would help others avoid similar experiences. Marcus arranged medical evaluations documenting her injuries for legal review. He also contacted community leaders to discuss safety improvements. His calm leadership began turning the painful event into an opportunity for positive change and public awareness. As days passed, public discussions about the incident grew across television programs and online platforms. Many people expressed concern about how elderly citizens were treated during police encounters. Community organizations invited Loretta to speak, but she politely declined, preferring privacy. Instead, Marcus agreed to attend safety meetings representing her mother's voice. He spoke about dignity, patience, and proper verification procedures. His respectful tone gained widespread support, helping bridge communication between law enforcement agencies and local communities seeking better understanding and trust. The police department officially announced disciplinary action against the officers involved after completing preliminary investigations. They acknowledged serious mistakes and promised stronger training programs. Community leaders appreciated the transparency, but stressed that real change required consistent effort. Loretta watched the news quietly, relieved that truth was being recognized. She hoped the officers would learn from the situation rather than simply face punishment. Her forgiving attitude surprised Marcus, reminding him again of her lifelong compassion and strength. Marcus arranged counseling support for his mother, understanding that emotional trauma often appears slowly. Loretta initially believed she was fine, but later admitted the memory of the arrest still frightened her. Professional counseling helped her process those feelings gradually. Marcus attended some sessions with her, showing continuous support. Their shared conversations strengthened their relationship further. Loretta often reminded him that courage meant protecting people while staying kind, a lesson she had taught since his childhood years growing up in a challenging environment. Weeks later, community members organized a neighborhood gathering celebrating unity and safety awareness. Loretta attended with Marcus beside her. She received flowers, warm hugs, and heartfelt apologies from local officers who were not involved in the incident. The event focused on rebuilding trust between residents and law enforcement. Marcus spoke briefly, encouraging cooperation and communication. His balanced message highlighted both accountability and respect for responsible officers. The gathering ended with shared meals and conversations, showing how communities could heal through understanding and collective effort. Internal training reforms within the police department began quickly after the incident. New guidelines emphasized proper suspect identification and communication techniques with elderly citizens. Officers received additional education about handling situations involving vulnerable individuals. Supervisors created review panels ensuring accountability before arrests occurred in uncertain situations. Community representatives were invited to observe training sessions, promoting transparency. These changes demonstrated the department's commitment to preventing future mistakes and restoring public confidence damaged by the widely publicized incident involving Loretta. Marcus returned briefly to his military duties, but remained in constant contact with his mother. He arranged trusted neighbors to check on her daily while he was away. Loretta encouraged him to focus on his service responsibilities, proud of his dedication to protecting others. She resumed her peaceful routine, slowly regaining confidence walking through her neighborhood. Children greeted her warmly, and neighbors offered assistance with groceries. Each friendly interaction helped rebuild her sense of safety and belonging within the community she loved deeply. Media coverage eventually shifted toward highlighting positive community reforms inspired by Loretta's experience. Several cities reviewed their own training policies, using the incident as a learning example. Public discussions focused on patience, empathy, and responsibility during law enforcement interactions. Loretta watched these developments quietly, feeling grateful that her painful experience helped protect others. Marcus often reminded her that her strength had created meaningful change. She simply smiled, believing that kindness and courage always created ripples far beyond individual moments. One afternoon, the police department formally visited Loretta's home to deliver a written apology and discuss community partnership programs. Department leaders expressed deep regret for the trauma she experienced. They invited her to participate in advisory meetings shaping future training policies. Loretta appreciated the gesture, but chose to remain a supportive observer instead. Marcus thanked the department for acknowledging mistakes and working toward improvement. The respectful meeting symbolized progress and mutual understanding between family and law enforcement leadership. Loretta's church community organized a special prayer service focused on healing and unity. She attended alongside Marcus and many neighbors. The service emphasized forgiveness, accountability, and community strength during difficult times. Church members praised Loretta's dignity throughout the incident. Marcus shared how his mother's teachings shaped his leadership and discipline. The emotional gathering strengthened bonds among community members, reminding everyone that compassion and patience remained powerful forces during conflict and misunderstanding. Months later, Loretta's physical injuries had healed, but the experience left lasting memories.
She began volunteering at a local senior center, sharing safety awareness tips with elderly residents. She encouraged them to remain calm during emergencies and always carry identification. Her gentle guidance helped many seniors feel more confident and prepared. Marcus proudly supported her volunteer work, recognizing her ability to transform trauma into helpful education for others. Her strength inspired countless residents who admired her courage and resilience. The officers involved completed mandatory retraining and disciplinary programs as part of department reform efforts. Reports indicated they expressed regret and acknowledged poor decision-making. Community leaders monitored their progress carefully, emphasizing that rebuilding trust required consistent, responsible behavior. Loretta quietly hoped they would grow from their mistakes. Marcus believed accountability combined with education offered the strongest path toward meaningful change within law enforcement systems. Marcus occasionally visited local schools to speak about discipline, respect, and responsible leadership. He shared general lessons from his experiences without revealing sensitive military details. Students admired his calm authority and inspiring background. He emphasized that strength included protecting vulnerable individuals and making careful decisions under pressure. His speeches indirectly honored his mother's courage, reminding young audiences about compassion and accountability in every profession and daily interaction. The neighborhood where the incident occurred became known for its strong community cooperation programs. Residents organized regular meetings with local officers to discuss safety concerns and build mutual trust. Loretta often attended quietly, offering warm smiles and occasional thoughtful advice. Her presence symbolized resilience and unity. Marcus occasionally joined meetings when visiting home, reinforcing the importance of cooperation between civilians and law enforcement for maintaining safe communities. A documentary filmmaker later approached Loretta requesting permission to tell her story. She declined politely, preferring privacy over public attention. Marcus supported her decision completely. Instead, they agreed to allow training institutions to use anonymous versions of the incident as educational material. Their focus remained on preventing future harm rather than gaining publicity. This decision reflected their shared values of humility and service. Over time, Loretta's story became widely respected as an example of courage and dignity. Community members continued checking on her regularly, creating strong neighborhood friendships. Marcus felt comfort knowing his mother lived in a supportive environment. Their regular phone conversations remained filled with laughter and warmth. Loretta reminded him often to stay safe during his missions, maintaining her protective motherly nature despite his elite military status. During one family gathering, Marcus thanked his mother for shaping his character through years of sacrifice and guidance. Loretta smiled proudly, reminding him that strength came from kindness and patience. Their emotional conversation reflected deep mutual respect. Family members listening nearby felt inspired by their powerful bond. The painful incident had strengthened their relationship further, transforming fear into deeper appreciation for family and community support. The police department eventually recognized Loretta with a Community Resilience Award, honoring her dignity and positive influence after the incident. She accepted the award humbly, thanking both community members and responsible officers working toward improvement. Marcus attended proudly, watching his mother receive standing applause. The ceremony symbolized healing and accountability, demonstrating how difficult experiences could lead to stronger relationships between communities and public institutions. Years later, the incident remained a powerful memory but no longer caused fear. Loretta continued living peacefully, surrounded by neighbors who cared deeply for her. Marcus visited whenever possible, enjoying peaceful moments beside her. Their shared experience became a family lesson passed to younger generations about standing strong while remaining compassionate.
The neighborhood remained united, proving that even painful events could inspire growth, accountability, and stronger human connections built on respect and understanding.